Okay, hello dear friends, I would like to welcome you on our embroidery channel, and today we will talk about how to embroider fabric into the hoops. As you know, most of the time we work in a professional frames. It's really huge frames from such size to 1.5 meter. But sometimes it happens when you need to travel and you need to take something smaller than your usual frame. And in this case we can try to tambour and try to do embroidery in the hoops. Also, I advise to use hoops for those who are novice and who want to try the embroidery and to see how it is. So today we will embroider two types of the fabric into the hoops. First we will check the cotton fabric. It's stable 100% cotton in a very good quality, and it's to embroider and to tambour it's very easy. We unmake our hoops. We put our fabric and covers the lower hoop with the fabric. Then we put the upper hoop and just close our fabric in it. As you can see, it already did some tambouring, but we have to screw back our screw, which we unscrewed, for making our hoops to unmake it. And when we screwed, we need to pull our fabric a little to make it create a really tambour looking surface of our fabric. So like this we can work and we can do embroidery. Such things when you tambour your fabric in a clean hoops without any additional ribbons here works only for a fabric like cotton, linen, maybe a canvas or some embroidery fabric that are thick. But when we start to work with the light fabric, lightweight fabric like organza, like chiffon, rather thin fabrics, for us it will be rather difficult to tambour them and to keep such lightweight fabric as tamboured and in such tambouring quality as our ordinary fabric. I can actually show you how does it look. We will unmake our hoops again. We will remove our cotton fabric and now we'll try to tambour. You can see I have some embroidery here. Also, I will show you how to tambour the ready-made embroidery if you want to continue working and you need to change place and you cannot take your ordinary hoops or your ordinary frame with you. The process is the same. We are covering with the fabric the lower hoop. We are putting the upper hoop again, keeping it straight, and we are screwing the screw to the maximum. So your screw should be fully screwed. Also you can see some tambour effect appeared, but also not very good. We are pulling our fabric and as you can see it becomes more straight. But you will notice that still the fabric is moving inside the hoops and it doesn't give us such a good surface as we had with our cotton. So even if you will pull with your fingers, you will not hear this tambour sound, like it's the boom 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 sound. How we can make our fabric to be tamboured in a very good way? For these things it will help us a simple cotton ribbon. As you can see, I will take a second frame to show you, because the process of wrapping around this ribbon is rather long, so I did most of it for you and I will show you how to make it with this small tail. As you can see, I warped with the ribbon the lower part of our hoops, and this warping will help us to stop our fabric from running and from moving inside the hoops, because since all the hoops they were made considering that you will tambour inside fabric the same thick as a cotton or as a linen, or those who do the cross-stitch embroidery, the canvas, which is rather thick. And they were not thinking about the organza or chiffon or other lightweight fabrics. And we now have to improve our hoops and to make our fabric, how to say, more sturdy position. For this I am taking the simple cotton ribbon. It's not elastic, so it doesn't give any elastic, so check please. You can take also the satin ribbon, but you will have to burn the edges not to make your satin ribbon run. And we have just to fix the tail of our ribbon. So imagine it like it's all undone and here is the tail of the ribbon with a finger, and warp carefully around all over our hoops and when you're warping tightly, your tail of the ribbon, it's being kept inside this warping and it will not be undone. And like this, we are warping around for one layer. No need for 2 layers, one is enough. You can see here I started. I did a little bit more because ribbon was rather big, but you can keep it in only in one layer. So we warp till the end. When you will understand that this is enough and you don't want to warp more, you can just pin your tail, and I advise you to pin inside, not from this side but here, or you can just sew on with the needle and thread. I will pin because after that I will unmake. I'm pinning just to keep my ribbon on its place. So we did. Now we are putting our warped frame, unmaking our fabric, and we will tambour our lightweight fabric inside this warped frame. So like this, again we are putting our upper hoops up. We are screwing the screw till maximum. I use different hoops, but most of the time I prefer, of course, such low border hoops. These hoops are rather big for me, rather high for me, because mostly I think they use for the patchwork or for some stitching, but since these were the only hoops that were warped, I decided to show them, but I basically do not use them most of the time. So we screwed our screw to maximum. Now we will pull our fabric, and I can say that it's pulling not so quickly as it were pulled in unwrapped hoops, but still it still does, and we are pulling and pulling part by part to make our fabric absolutely straight and make it so tambour that you can even dance on it and you will have the sound of very good tamboured fabric. Also, the good thing in this warping around with the ribbon that no matter how much time you will work with your embroidery in the hoops, your fabric will not run loose as quickly as it can do in unwarped frames. So this will prevent you from pulling it rapidly, and it will help you to make your embroidery more clean, and for you will have more pleasure to work with. Same thing you can do with the ready-made embroidery. If you, for example, doing embroidery and you need to remove it from the frame or from the hoops that you have at home and you need to move them somewhere, you can also put your embroidery in the same way, and very easy to continue working at the place where you're planning to move. So in this way you can tambour your fabric, do some embroidery, do some stitches, or do the basic of the luneville maybe stitch if you decide to work with the hook, or do the needle stitching, and if you prefer the needle embroidery. So this is the way that I'm using my hoops. So as I told, clean and unwarped hoops I use for thick fabric, for cotton, linen, canvas, and for lightweight fabrics I usually use the ribbon warping around the lower hoop. If you have very lightweight fabric, very something like a very fragile tulle or something, toile, some very light, you can warp even 2 hoops, both the lower and the upper parts of the hoop, and then your tambouring will be very strong, but it will work only for the very lightweight fabric. Otherwise you will find it difficult to pull your fabric and to make it straight and to make it more tambour inside your frame. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and you will find it interesting and you will find it useful, and you now know how to embroider fabric in a hoops. And I hope to see you in our next videos, where we will talk more about the materials, about the way of embroidery and the way of sewing and other things that we plan to show you in our YouTube channel. Thanks for being with us. Push the subscribe button, and we hope to see the comments and ideas that you have under our video. So bye bye, see you.